to talk to Robin and Tatiana from the Non-Commercial Stakeholder Group. Thanks so much for joining us today and taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
So I'd like to start with a question for both of you. So what would you say is the mission of the NCSG in ICANN and in the GNSO specifically?
Well, the Non-Commercial Stakeholder Group, the NCSG, is an organization here within ICANN that works to promote non-commercial interests within the ICANN community and the policy development process. The way ICANN basically works is that there's recognition that there are various legitimate interests, and they all sort of need to have a balancing between them. And so the people are divided up into different stakeholder groups, and we represent the non-commercial users.
So in the GNSO specifically, we are focusing on bringing the values of the non-commercial stakeholder group into any policy issues that comes on the GNSO plate. So whatever topic comes there, we are advocating for human rights, for diversity, for transparency, for accountability, for due process, and we want to ensure that non-commercial values and civil society voice is heard in the GNSO, that values are taken into account in any policy development process.
That's really helpful. I learned something right there, and I've been around for a little bit. So now, Tatiana, so what topics does the NCSG advocate for at the GNSO Council level?
Thank you for this question. I wouldn't call them topics. I would call them our values, which we bring to any topic that is there on the GNSO. And these values are, well, first of all, is digital privacy. And it is especially relevant now when GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, came into force, and we have to ensure that the privacy and data of registrants are not easily accessible, so we are advocating for tiered access, which is totally within the digital privacy values of the non-commercial stakeholder group. Then we are advocating for the freedom of speech, to stop or balance trademark overreach, to balance commercial interests. We are advocating for ICANN to operate within its narrow technical mission and not to become a content regulator. So ICANN policy frameworks and governance processes cannot be used to take down the content for the sake of DNS abuse or crime or whatever, you name it. So this is, again, a big value for us. And then, of course, to whatever process that exists in GNSO or whatever decision that is taken in GNSO, we want to ensure that it is transparent, it is accountable, that everything follows due process, and that any human rights that could be considered within the ICANN mission are kind of upheld.
That's great. Thank you so much. And so Robin, who are the NCSG members, and what can you tell us about the membership criteria?
Okay, sure. Well, the NCSG members consist of quite a broad range of different types of organizations, individuals, all of whom are interested in promoting non-commercial uses on the internet, and making sure that people are permitted to continue to engage in non-commercial uses on the internet. So we have, for example, digital rights organizations, we have environmental organizations, we have religious organizations, we have academics in the group, we have individuals who are concerned about making sure that non-commercial interests are included in the policy development process here. So it's actually quite a broad range of interests, because it is non-commercial interest, which is, you know, quite a spectrum, because in one capacity or another, every person is a non-commercial user of the internet at one point or another during the day or the week. In terms of our membership criteria, you basically have to be either a non-commercial organization or an individual who wants to promote non-commercial users, and you have to not also be part of another SO or AC here at ICANN. So for example, we don't accept members of government because they already have a home at ICANN. We don't accept businesses or trade groups because those are designed to promote commercial interests. So the real big issue for us is having members who are here to promote the non-commercial uses of the internet, the digital rights and freedom of expression and privacy rights and due process of law, and trying to get a little bit of a handle on some things like governmental overreach on the internet, trying to keep the government somewhat hands-off of the internet at this point.
Oh, thank you so much, Robin. And so I just have one more question for both of you, and that is, what advice would you give to newcomers?
You want to go first?
Yes, because I'm a relative newcomer still. I came to ICANN 3 years ago and I'm still learning. I would say don't get intimidated with the complex ICANN structure and with all these acronyms which you will see. You will eventually get used to this. And frankly speaking, to really start contributing into the policies and process, you don't need to get acquainted with all the acronyms. It's not necessary. Just pick your topic, follow it. Talk to us, talk to me, talk to Robin, talk to the chair of non-commercial stakeholder group, executive committee representatives from your region. Find your home here because we are friendly, we are welcoming. From the process point of view, you don't have to jump with both feet into this water unless there is a specific topic you're very much interested in. You can just take time and learn. Follow the public comment calls. You don't necessarily have to grab a pen, just don't join the drafting team. Follow the calls of particular working group. See which policy process are just getting started so you can follow from the beginning and learn eventually and have your say there. So that would be my advice.
And Robin?
Well, I would say initially take sort of a broad look and take a look at what all the issues are that the organization is working on, and maybe pick one that you're particularly interested in. And I would suggest to just dive right into that one issue, not to try to get involved in all of the issues, but to pick one that you care about and get right into that one. Read the materials, read the mailing list, the previous documents, and start participating in the calls and get engaged. And I would also advise the newcomers to remember to have fun with it all, because this is issues that we all care a great deal about and we can be somewhat passionate about. And when we're at these meetings, we often spend our days sort of arguing with each other with people from the different stakeholder groups and the different SOs or ACs. And we have to remember that we should also have fun with it too, because it's very easy to get a little bit too excited, and that's it. Thanks.
Well, thank you. That was really helpful, and we really appreciate your insights and guidance on the NCSG.
Thank you very
again.
much for having us.
Thank you.